हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Mataji, can you make me the co-host? Can you share my screen?
Yes, Mataji.
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा. So thank you all for joining in.
Done, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. All right. So we'll just start with the short kirtan. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादिश तारिणे. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. जय गौरनीताय जय गौरनीताय, जय जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा सुदर्शन. जय बालगोपाल जय राधा मदन मोहन राधे राधे. जय राधा गोविंद राधे राधे. जय राधा गोपीनाथ राधे राधे. जय राधे जय श्री राधे. जय प्रभुपाद गुरुदेव नित्य गौर हरि बोल. ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकाय चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजना सहितं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने. नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे. नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauradvishe Namaha. Panchatatvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Jayadam Suratau Pangor Mama Mandamate Gati Matsarva Subhadambojau Shri Radha Madana Mohanau Divyat Vrindaranya Kalputumadha Srimad Ratnagara Simhasanastau Srimad Radha Shri Lagovinda Devalu Teishtalivi Sevyamanu Smarami Shriman Rasarasarambhir Vamshivata Tatastitaha Karshan Venur Sunair Gopir Shri Gopinatha Shri Estunaha Taptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavanishwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Taralye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yatkrapatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramanandavadavam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Ishwaram Hari Om Tatsat. Hare Krishna. So I thank all of you for joining in for the Brahma Samhita session this morning. We are on verse number 59. We'll start with verse number 59 today. Before that, we are awaiting our grand finale, which is on coming Thursday, which will be the last session of a Brahma Samhita, wherein there will be a summarization of the essence of what is contained in Brahma Samhita. We started off with how the greatness of the Lord was described, how this creation was manifested. The initial part of the verses was about the greatness of the Lord. And then as we progress towards verse 62, which is the last verse of Brahma Samhita, here we are talking about how to attain pure devotion, the sweetness of the Lord. How does the Lord reciprocate with somebody who's developed pure devotional service? How do we develop devotional service? In that way, there is a progression towards prema bhakti, towards the reciprocation between the Lord and his devotees, like that. All right, so let's go ahead. Brahma Samhita, verse number 59. Ishvaraha Parama Krishna Sachitananda Vigraha Anadira Dirgovindaha Sarvakarana Karanam. So the first verse of Brahma Samhita clearly describes the position of Krishna, that he is Ishvara Parama Krishna. He is the supreme controller of all controllers. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sat Chit Ananda Vigraha. He is totally eternal, blissful and full of knowledge. Ishvaraha Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govindaha. He's called Govinda because he gives pleasure to the cows and the senses. Go means senses, go also means cows, right? Anadir Adir Govindaha. Anadir, he does not have any source. Adir, he is the source of everything. Anadir Adir Govindaha Sarvakarana Karanam. He is the cause of all causes. So this is the first verse of Brahma Samhita, which talks about the greatness of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Today's verse, what we are going to read, 59th verse, is going to talk about how to develop prema bhakti. What is it to be in complete devotion to the Lord? Anya vilashita shunyam jnana karmadyanavratam anukulyena krishna anushilanam bhakti uttama. What is that uttama bhakti, and how are we going to develop that kind of uttama bhakti? How is it realized in slow degrees, like that? And what are the essential constituents to get this uttama bhakti, like that? Okay, so let's start Srimad Brahma Samhita 5.59. Pramanaistat sadachairais tad abhyasair nirantaram bodayan atmanatmanam bhaktim api uttamam labhet. Pramanaistat sadachairais tad abhyasair nirantaram bodayan atmanatmanam bhaktim api uttamam labhet. Pramaణais tat sat acharais tad abhyase nirantaram bodhayannatmanatmanam bhaktim api uttamam labhet. Hare Krishna. So please go ahead and read the verse. Yeah, I can see Rohini Mataji. Go ahead.
Pranam Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
प्रमाणे सदाचरे सदभ्यासे निरन्तरं बोधयन् आत्मनात्मानं भक्तिम् अप्य उत्तमां लभेत्. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Sudha Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
प्रमाणैस्तत्सद् आचरैस्तत् अभ्यासैर् निरन्तरं बोधयन् आत्मनात्मानं भक्तिम् अपि उत्तमां लभेत्. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Karpagoli Mataji.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Yes.
Pramanesya tat sat acharya tat abhyase nirantaram bodhayan atman manam bhaktim api uttamam labhet. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. So Chitra Mataji, you want to read the verse or the synonyms?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Verse
Krishna.
Mataji.
Yes, please read the verse.
Pramanai sadacharai tad abhyase nirantaram bodhayan atmanatmanam bhaktim api uttamam labhet. Hare Krishna
Hare
Mataji.
Very well, then I'll pronounce. Thank you. So who would like to read the synonyms or the word-to-word translation? Okay, Bhuvana Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare
Mataji,
Krishna.
can you just scroll up?
Yes.
Yes,
You can
Mataji.
see?
Yes, thank you, Mataji. Yes, Mataji. Synonyms by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Pramanahi by scriptural evidence, tat of them, tat acharaihi by theistic conduct, tat of them, abhyasaihi by practice, nirantaram constantly, bodhayan awakening, atmana by one's own intelligence, atmanam the self, bhaktim devotion, api certainly, uttamam the highest, labhet one can attain. Thank you, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. So who wants to read the translation? Translation by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yes, Shobha Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Mataji's Hari Bol translation by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj ki jai. The highest devotion is attained by slow degree by the method of constant endeavor for self-realization with the help of scriptural evidence, theistic conduct and perseverance in practice. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Mataji, Hari Bol.
Okay. Very, very important translation. If we see this, the highest devotion is attained. What is highest devotion? Pure prema bhakti. It's attained by slow degrees. So it's a gradual process, right? Some of us think, oh, I've been chanting 16 rounds for so many years. Why am I not getting prema bhakti? Why is my mind still contemplating on all these things, right? You should understand it's a slow process. Why? Because Jalaja Nava Lakshani Stavara Laksha Vimshati. We've gone through so many millions of species wherein we've accumulated so much of anarthas over so many lifetimes that we cannot expect that within a few months of chanting Hare Krishna 16 rounds, I'm going to become a pure bhakta, right? So attained by slow degrees by the method of constant endeavor. Constant endeavor. Endeavor is, our effort, right? We can remind ourselves about the Yashoda Damodar Leela. Right? Kartik month is just coming in a few days, right? Damodar month, wherein we see how Yashoda Maya, who's the mother of Krishna, right? She herself had to endeavor so much to bind Krishna. So what happens to sadhana bhaktas like us? How much we have to endeavor, right? So our advancement in Krishna consciousness is by the method of constant endeavor for self-realization. What is self-realization? Understanding who we actually are. What is our constitutional position? So when we understand who we are exactly, then we are actually identifying who am I, who is the Lord, what is my relationship towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When we understand that, that is self-realization. And then with the help of scriptural evidence, theistic conduct and perseverance in practice, right? We already spoke about the tripod of Guru, Shastra and Sadhu, right? With the help of the Guru, we are connected to the Guru Parampara. Shastra, that means what is given in the scriptural books, right? Dharmam tu sakshat Bhagavat Pranitam, right? Because the scriptures have been written by the Supreme Lord, who's called Apaurusheya. Who's Apaurusheya? That means a person who is beyond the three modes of material nature, a person who's beyond the four mistakes, right? What are the four mistakes? Anyone knows? What are the four mistakes that human beings are subject to, which the Lord is not subject to? Anyone
Hare
wants to
Krishna
answer?
Mataji. Hare Krishna
Yes.
Mataji. Shall I try?
Yes, Mataji.
We have a illusion subject to commit mistakes, and one second, Mataji.
Cheating propensity.
Propensity to cheat.
Yeah, cheating propensity, tendency to commit mistakes, illusion, and what is the fourth one? We have imperfect senses.
Imperfect senses. Hare Krishna.
That one, imperfect senses. That means we cannot even see the back of our neck with our eyes, right? When there is no sunlight inside a dark room, I cannot even look at my hand. Prabhupada gives very beautiful examples in Ishopanishad, right? How we are subject to these four defects. What are that? Imperfect senses, we are in illusion, we have a tendency to commit mistakes, and we also have the tendency to cheat. That is why scriptures are called Apaurusheya. Apaurusheya means you're not subject to these four defects. Why? Because they've been created by the Lord, who is beyond the modes of material nature. So only when we are subject to the modes of material nature, then we are actually subject to these four defects. So let's go back to the translation. With the help of scriptural evidence, theistic conduct. What is theistic conduct? Theistic conduct is to understand that the Supreme Lord is a lawmaker. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam, sarvalokam maheshwaram, suhranam sarvabhutanam, nyatva mam shanti mrichati. Right? The Supreme Lord is the all-controller. So when I behave in accordance with the law that is generated by the Lord, which is according to the scriptural evidence. Right? When I know the scriptural injunction, then I act according to that. A transformation of our life according to the scriptural evidence. That is theistic conduct. And perseverance in practice. Perseverance means to endeavor in spite of obstacles. Right? Yashoda Maya was running behind Krishna. Right? Prabhupada describes in the Krishna book how she's very bulky. She's of a middle age. She's running behind this naughty little boy who's very small, who's running so fast. She's feeling breathless. Her hair is the flowers on her hair are all falling down. Right? In this way, she's breathless. She's panting for breath, but she's running behind Krishna. But she's not willing to give up this endeavor to catch Krishna. Right? Because she wants to bind Krishna. Right? And the Acharyas explain how we also have to persevere in our endeavor to bind Krishna in our heart. Right? Bilva Mangal Thakur has written this beautiful song. What is that? Raje prasidam navanita choram gopangananam cha dukula choram aneka janmarjita papa choram chauragraganyam purusham namami. Wherein Bilva Mangal Thakur is glorifying the supreme thief. Why? Because he wants the supreme thief to steal his heart. Right? In the course of that song, he says, Kala Graham. Right? My heart is like a Kala Graham. That means it's full of ignorance. It is full of anarthas. But yet, I want to capture you and store you in the Kala Graha of my heart. So that, in order to capture the Navanita Krishna, right, the butter thief in our heart forever, in the Kala Graha of our heart, what should we do? We should persevere in our practice of devotional service. Very beautiful translation, right? And what is this highest devotion that we already described? This definition is given by Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. What is that? Anya Bilashita Shunyam. No other desires, no other material desires, right? No give and take deal with the Lord. I give you this, you give me this. No. Anya Bilashita Shunyam. Zero. Jnana Karmadi Anavritam. Right? Not acquiring any knowledge which will increase the weight of our head. But acquire bhakti, the jnana, bhakti jnana. We all have bhakti knowledge, right? We are reading Bhagavatam, we are reading Brahma Samhita, we are reading Bhagavad Gita on a daily basis. Every day we are reading Prabhupada's books. We get jnana, but that jnana has to facilitate our bhakti. It will have to make us more dependent on Krishna. It will have to make us surrender towards Krishna more. Now, if that is not happening by our acquisition of knowledge, then that is not the kind of jnana that we want. Jnana karmadi anavritam anukulyena Krishna anushilanam. Right? Anukulyena. That means we want to think of Krishna very favorably. Think of Krishna all the time. Smartavya satatam Vishnur vismartavyo na jatuched. Sarve vidhi nishidhyasur etayor eva kinkaraha. Our study of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Brahma Samhita, our study of Srila Prabhupada's books every day. All of that is to enable us to always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. Smartavya satatam Vishnur, and never forget Krishna. Vismartavyo na jatuched. All of the Angas of devotional service that we're doing, right from Shravanam to Atma Nivedanam, right? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam, all of that are to attain this particular point of pure devotion, right? Anya Vilashita Shunyam, right? Sarve Viri Nishidhyasur Etayor Eva Kinkaraha. All of these regulative principles that we are following, right? All the Nishidhyas. Nishidhyas means what are to be prohibited, what are not to be done, right? We have 4 things to be done. We have 4 things not to be done, right? What are the 4 things to be done? Right? We practice mercy, austerity, cleanliness, and truthfulness, right? For that, what do we not do? No meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex. And then we have our most important regulative principle, chanting of at least 16 rounds of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, right? Sarve Vidhi. Vidhi means rules and regulations. Nishidhyasur, right? Whatever is not to be done. Are etayor eva kinkaraha. They are all servants of these 2 principles. What are those 2 principles? Smartavya satatam Vishnur vismartavyo na jatuched. Right? Always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. These are the 2 principles for which we are all practicing all of the Angas of devotional service. We are following all the regulative principles. We are not doing certain things. We are abstaining. What Rupa Goswami also says, right? What is that? An nectar of instruction. Rupa Goswami says 6 things favorable for devotional service, 6 things which are not favorable for devotional service, right? Utsahat, Nischayat, Dhairya, Tat Karma Pravartanat, Sangha Tyaga Sato Vritte, Sadbhat Bhaktir, Prasidhyati. All of these things will increase our devotional service. So we want to persevere with an endeavor, with sincerity to acquire all those things. Utsahat, enthusiasm, determination, confidence, right? Patience, association of devotees, avoiding the association of non-devotees. So in this way, all these 6 things, if we do, then we are persevering every day to actually endeavoring in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead to attain pure devotional service. So these are the servants of these 2 important principles of always remembering Krishna, never forgetting Krishna. And then what else did we say? Anya Vilashita Shunyam. Jnana karma janavratam anukulyena Krishna anushilanam. When we are favorably, when we want to remember Krishna favorably, because we were also talking the other day, right? Kamsa and Shishupal also were always remembering Krishna, right? In the dreams also they were remembering Krishna, but they were not favorable, right? Shishupal was actually blaspheming Krishna 100 times, right? We want to glorify Krishna not just 100 times, but as many times as possible. As long as we have this mouth, the essential principle of this vibration of the tongue is to glorify the Lord. Chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, right? So, what is the pure definition of devotional service? We saw Anya Bilashita Shunyam, Jnana Karmani Anavratam, Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam, right? How we can favorably remember Krishna is by... Okay, let me everyone. Hare Krishna. Okay. So, devotees can raise your hands and then you can read the purport. So, Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam Bhaktiruttama. Anukulyena Krishna. Anukulyena means favorably. Anushilanam means how can we remember the Lord favorably? We can remember the Lord favorably only when we practice devotional service following in the footsteps of our Vaishnava Acharyas. Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam. What is that? That is Bhaktir Uttama. That is pure devotional service. That is our aspiration. And how are we going to attain that? That is what is going to be described by Srila Prabhupada in the purport. Okay. Rishabhanu Kanya Mataji, go ahead. Read the purport.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Mataji.
Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, yes.
Evidence. The devotional scripture, for example, Srimad Bhagavatam, the Vedas, the Puranas, the Gitas, etc. Holistic conduct, the conduct of pious persons, sadhus, who are pure devotees, and the conduct of those pious persons who practice devotion to Godhead, acute,
Actually, so we say that actually what happened, actually what happened, right? That means what? We actuated by spontaneous love. What is the motive in rendering devotional service? It is spontaneous love, the cause. Yeah.
Actuated by spontaneous love. Practice to learn about the 10 basic principles, Dasa Mula. From the
Dasha Mula. Dasha means 10. Yeah.
Dasa Mula. From the Sastras, and on receiving the name of Hari as laid down in the same, embodying the name, form, quality, and activity of the divinity. To practice the chanting of the name by serving him night and day. By these are meant study of the Sastras and associations with the sadhus.
Haribol.
Yes, Mataji. The practice of to practice the chanting of the name by serving him night and day. By these are meant study of the Sastras and associations with the sadhus. The tenfold offense to holy name ceases by serving the name of Hari and simultaneously practicing pious conduct. Practice is no other than following the mode of service of the name practiced by the sadhus without offense. By perseverance in such practice, perseverance in such practice and devotion characterized by love, which is the fruit of spiritual endeavor, makes her appearance in the pure essence of the soul. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Very beautiful purport. Very, very beautiful. Let's just look at this various aspects covered in this purport. One is theistic conduct. What is theistic conduct? That means our conduct in such a way that we do anything in the mode of service and not in the mode of exploitation. Right? That is theistic conduct, because we work for the pleasure of the Lord. What pleases the Lord according to that. Second, Dasha Mula. We'll discuss that in detail. What are this Dasha Mula? Basic principles. And then there are 10 offenses in the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Every day in the morning after the Shiksha. Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam. This is what we are calling, what we follow the sadhus, follow our Vaishnava Acharyas. In such a way, with perseverance, when we practice devotion, then what happens? The fruit of spiritual endeavor makes her appearance in the pure essence of the soul. What is the fruit of the spiritual endeavor? The fruit of the spiritual endeavor is Krishna Prema. Okay. So very beautiful purport. So let's now move on to the individual details, right? First, we will talk about what is the Dasha Mula that is mentioned here, right? What is the 10 roots, especially Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur actually lays it down, right? Bhaktivinoda Thakur is actually talking about this Dasha Mula. What are this Dasha Mula that Bhaktivinoda Thakur is talking about? These are the 10 roots which actually help us attain pure love of Krishna, that actually help us attain the ultimate goal of life, right? What are these Dasha Mula? First is understanding that the Vedas constitute the principal scriptural evidence, right? That's what Prabhupada is mentioning here. We rely on the Shastras, because the Shastras are the basis for which our faith is enunciated, right? If we don't have faith in the Shastras, if we don't have faith in the Vedas, then what happens? We cannot continue our practice of Krishna consciousness. Why? Because we follow what is there in the Vedas. When our first point of basic faith in the Shastras is not there, then our entire route for practicing Krishna consciousness is destroyed. Secondly, when we have faith in the Vedas, then we understand what we accept what is given in the Vedas. What is given in the Vedas? The second point is Krishna is the supreme absolute truth. Ekala Ishvara Krishna. Then the third one is he possesses all energies, which is material and spiritual What is that? Daivi hayesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mameva ye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. In the purport of this verse, Srila Prabhupada is explaining how Krishna has two kinds of energies. Actually, Krishna has three energies, right? What is that? Bahiranga, that means external energy of the Lord, Maya Devi. The internal energy of the Lord, Ladini potency. And we are also energies of the Lord. We are marginal potencies of the Lord. That means we are Tatastha Shakti. There is Bahiranga Shakti, there is Antaranga Shakti, and there is Tatastha Shakti. Tatastha Shakti means we can dingle dangle on either sides. Either we can serve the pleasure potency of the Lord, or we can serve or try to exploit the material nature. So what is the second one? Hari or Krishna is the supreme absolute truth, and Krishna possesses three energies, right? What are that? Material energy, spiritual energy, and marginal energy. What is the fourth? He is the ocean of Rasa, right? In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he is defined as Akila Rasamrita Murti. Krishna is described as Akila Rasamrita Murti. That means he is the supreme embodiment of all the rasas, right? Our next book is going to be Nectar of Devotion. We will be reading the wonderful explanation of pure bhakti given in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. We're going to dive and jump into the ocean of bhakti, right? But Srila Rupa Goswami is going to actually explain. So here what I be saying, Krishna is the ocean of rasa. He is Bhakti Rasamrita Murti. And what is the fifth one? The living entities are his separated parts. That means we are Tatastha Shakti, marginal energy of the Lord. Right? The Acharyas explain how Tata means the banks of the ocean. Right? Sometimes the banks of the ocean are wet, there is water, and sometimes the banks of the ocean are dry. Right? And we also saw that Krishna is Akila Rasamrita Murti. That means when we have loving devotion in our heart, that means we are engaging in the service of the Ladini potency of the Lord, the Antaranga Shakti of the Lord. But when our heart is dry, filled with exploitative tendencies, then what is our heart filled with? Our heart is filled with anarthas, and we are trying to exploit the material nature. That means we are serving the Bahiranga energy of the Lord. So these living entities are part and parcels of the Supreme Lord. So Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, Mamaiva Amshu Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana, Manaha Sastan Indriyani, Prakriti Stani Karshati. Right? The living entities are struggling in this material world. Right? Although they are parts and parcels of Krishna, they're all parts and parcels of Krishna. And Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. Krishna is Akila Rasamrita Murti. Why are we suffering? Right? It's a very, very valid question, isn't it? Why are we suffering? Right? Anyone wants to answer? Why are we suffering in this material world? We are parts and parcels of that supremely blissful Lord. Why are we suffering? Anyone wants to answer? We are on the concluding week of Brahma Samhita. Right? We should know all these basic things very, very clear. Then only we can move towards Nectar of Devotion, isn't it? Yes, Chitra Mataji. Yes. Oh, sorry. Okay, I need to unmute you. There's some disturbance. I muted everyone. Okay. So Chitra Mataji, go ahead. Yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji. We forgot the constitutional position. Jivera Swarupavai Krishnera Nityadasa. That is the reason we came down and we are suffering, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Hari Bol. Wonderful, wonderful. Chitra Mataji ki jai. Right? So that is why we are suffering. Why are we suffering? Manasastan Indriyani Prakriti Stani Karshati. We are struggling in this material world because we are acting according to the mental speculation. Whatever our mind is telling, we are acting according to that. Right? Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, the mind is a friend of the mind is a controlled mind is a friend of every living entity. Whereas an uncontrolled mind is the greatest enemy. That is why when we are listening to our mind, which is telling us various ways of exploiting the material nature, we are suffering in this material world. Manasastan Indriyani, right? Because we don't read scriptures, our intelligence is polluted. Because our intelligence is polluted, our intelligence is wrongly misdirecting the mind to do various things which are not favorable for our bhakti. And then what happens? Our senses, mana, sastan, indriyani. We are utilizing our senses to switching on the TV, right? We switch on the TV with our hand. We walk towards the television. We see the program in the television through our eyes, right? Recently, the India-Pakistan match happened, right? On Saturday, right? Everybody is glued. Those who don't understand, they are also getting so much of anxiety. Oh, will India win? right? If India wins, all of those players, our Virat Kohli and everybody will be garlanded with nice flowers. The refugees will be garlanded with flowers. I saw that somebody had actually made it. I think mostly in South India it would have all been done. All these things happen in South India, right? People worship Jayalalitha and MGR, all these cinema actors, actresses. You have a temple for Sachin Tendulkar. Like that, all this happens in our South India. Very, very religious people. They religiously worship all the cinema stars and sports stars. So what is that? Manasasthani indriyani prakriti sthani karshati. How the same object which was giving us so much pleasure. India won, fortunately. Everybody is glorifying and giving nice flower garlands. But what if India had lost? That they would have prepared effigies and the entire Ramayana pastime would have happened, right? They would have burned the effigies of all the players. Why are they doing that? Because there's so much suffering. Why are they suffering? Did they go and play? Are they going to earn a lot of money? Virat Kohli is going to earn a lot of money because India won. Are we earning anything? Nothing. We only earn suffering and momentary pleasure. Oh, India won, right? Everything, aham mameti, my country, my, everything related to my body, right? My happiness, my country, the play, India has to win, like that. So as long as we're attached like this, as much as we enjoy, equal or even more, we will suffer, right? If India had not won, then what happens? We are suffering so much. Why? Prakriti sthani karshati. Karshati means we are suffering. Why? Because we are identifying with the bodily platform, right? So that is not what we want to do, right? What is it that we want to do? We want to act according to our intelligence that is purified. When will our intelligence get purified? By the study of scriptures, by the study of Brahma Samhita, by the study of Bhagavatam, by the study of Bhagavad Gita. If our intelligence is properly purified, intelligence will direct the mind correctly. Then the mind will engage in devotional service, right? Then the same Manasasthani Indriyani, which is leading to Karshati, will actually give us bliss. Susukam kartumavayam neha vikramanashosti pratyavayo na vidyate swalpam apiyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bayat. The same mind, the same intelligence, the same senses is going to protect us from the greatest type of fear if we are engaging in devotional service. And that happens when the mind is properly directed by the intelligence, and intelligence is purified when we study Shastras. That is why the first point of the Dasha Mula is understanding and having faith in the Vedic scriptures. Okay, very good. Living entities, due to being very minute, are conditioned with a material energy. That is the sixth point of the Dasha Mula. What is that? We become conditioned. The Lord does not become conditioned by material nature because it is the Lord's energy. We become conditioned because we are minute parts and parcels of that Lord. When do we become conditioned? When we understand, when we think that I am the enjoyer, I am the controller, I am the owner of everything. This speaker belongs to me, this laptop belongs to me, this mobile belongs to me. And when these are taken away from me, then I'm suffering. But when I know that these things have been allocated to me and I use them in devotional service, when these things are taken away, then I utilize whatever I have in devotional service. I don't lament, oh, this mobile phone is not there, I cannot do devotional service. Oh, this speaker is not there, I will not speak Krishna Katha, right? I still have certain things, even if these things are taken away. Whatever else I have in my possession, what has been allocated to me by the Lord, I use them in devotional service, right? The first verse of Ishopanishad talks about Isha Vasyam idam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat tena chaktena bunjita magrida kasya svidanam. Whatever is allocated to me, according to my past karma, according to my past desires, I've been rightly allocated by the Lord. So I'm not going to be greedy. I'm not going to look at another person. Oh, this person is speaking so well. Oh, this person is singing so well. Even in my performance of devotional service, if I am having this envious attitude, I will not progress in devotional service. Krishna is not interested in knowing how much we know. Krishna is the supreme, right? What is that verse? Bhagavan, what is that? Aishwaryasya samagrasya viryasya yashashashriyaha jnana vairagya yaschaiva sannam bhaga itingana. Krishna is the supremely knowledgeable person. Krishna has a lot of wealth. Krishna has unlimited wealth. He is a source of wealth. And then what is that? Aishwaryasya samagrasya viryasya. Krishna is the strongest. Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, I am the strength of the strong, right? Krishna is not impressed by our ability to memorize the verses, right? Krishna has only spoken the verses in 45 minutes. So if you memorize the verses, we are not going to please Krishna, right? If you are speaking nice Krishna Katha, we are not going to please Krishna. If our intention is to get glorified, if our intention is to get name, fame, glory by speaking the glories of the Lord, then Krishna is not going to get purified. Krishna will give us. Okay, because the name, fame, glory is best situated within Krishna, right? Krishna is giving us name, fame, and glory, right? Tumko ye chahiye, tum ye le lo. Tumko ye chahiye, tum ye le lo. But is that our desire? No, because I may get a lot of name, fame, and glory, but it will die with my body, right? An intelligent person, so what will he want? He will ask for something which is not perishable. He will ask for something which is eternal, which is pure devotional service. Only that can give unlimited joy, right? As long as I'm not situated there, asking only the Lord, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadisha kamaye, mama janmani ishware, bhavatat bhakti rahituki tvai. If I'm asking only for bhakti, then I'm rightly situated. Then I will not be conditioned by material energy. So this is the sixth root, or sixth of the Dashamula Tattva. Okay, seventh one. In the liberated state, the living entities are free of the influence of material nature. This is the opposite of the sixth one, right? If I'm not conditioned, I am liberated. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma, na shochati, na kankshati, samasarveshu bhuteshu, mad bhakti labate param. Right? I'm transcendental to the effects of the material nature only when I understand Jivera Swarupahe, Krishnera Nityadas. Only when my desire is only to acquire pure devotional service and not anything else. As long as I desire anything else other than pure devotional service, I am going to be subjected to the three modes of material nature. Okay, moving ahead. What is the eighth one? Everything is inconceivably one and different from the Supreme Lord. What is this? This is Achintya Abheda Veda Tattva. This is the Tattva that is given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, we are one with the Supreme Lord. We are also Sat, we are also Chit, we are also Ananda. But we are minuscule, Sat, Chit and Ananda. We are minuscule enjoyers. Why do we want to enjoy? All the time we want to be happy. Because we are minuscule of that unlimited Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is infinitely Sat, Chit and Ananda. Okay, then what is the ninth one? Pure devotional service is the highest duty for all living beings, right? Okay, Hare Krishna Mataji, what is this? Something on the chat box. What is that? What are the 4 defects we have that you are mentioning, right? Okay, we'll take the questions in the end. Okay, since you're asking here, the 4 defects are: we are subject to illusion, we have imperfect senses, we commit mistakes, and we are prone to cheating, right? Illusion means we think I am this body, whatever is related to this body is mine. That's why we are in illusion. Imperfect senses, we cannot even look at our own hand, or we cannot look around anything when we are in darkness, right? It is only by the we cannot look at our own back, right? We cannot look at our own eyelashes, right? We are subject to our senses are imperfect. That is a defect, right? And then what is that? Imperfect senses, and we commit mistakes. We commit so many mistakes and we keep regretting. Oh, I should not have taken that decision. Oh, I should not have chosen that, right? We have experience of making so many mistakes, and we are also subject to cheating propensity. What is the cheating propensity? We actually pose ourselves to be very learned. We try to give I know everything, and we try to actually make the other person, we try to even Vaishyas. What do? Oh, I'm not making any profit. I'm just giving you free of cost. I'm not earning anything. I'm going in a loss. Is that true? No, right? We try to cheat the other person for our own personal sense gratification. So these are the 4 defects, right? And the Lord is Paurusheya. The Lord is beyond these 4 defects. So coming back to our 8th Dashamula Tattva, what is that? Achintya Abheda Veda Tattva. 9th one, pure devotional service is the highest duty or dharma. Saipumsam Paro Dharma, Yatha Bhakti Radokshaji, Aituki Apratihata Yayatma, Suprasidati. right? We can get, like, what is the dharma of sugar? The sugar's dharma is sweetness, right? The dharma of water is liquidity. We cannot imagine the sugar without sweetness, right? And sugar does not exist if it cannot give sweetness. Similarly, water does not exist if it does not have the liquidity. Similarly, what is the dharma of a soul? The dharma of the soul is seva, right? Either we serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead or we serve dog. Prabhupada says in his lecture, either we serve God or we serve dog. In one of the lectures given abroad, in the Western world, Prabhupada is talking about how these people take the dogs for a morning walk, right? We don't know who is serving, right? The dog is helping the master or the master is helping the dog, because the dog keeps running here, there. Even in India, we see these days, people take their dogs for morning walk. What happens? The dog runs here and there. The dog, stays there and passes stool, urine. And then what happens? The man or the woman who's the master of the dog run behind the dog, waits there. The dog passes urine, stool, etc. Prabhupada mentions in the abroad, what happens when a dog passes stool like that? Not only does the master wait, like in India, they do. They have to pick up the stool, keep it in the cover and run behind the dog. So either we serve Lord or either we serve God or we serve dog, because service is so much inherently in our heart, is inherent nature with us. Now, if we don't serve God, we will end up serving dogs. In that. And then finally, pure love of Krishna is the ultimate goal of life. Krishna prema, right? Every day we chant the 10 offenses to the holy name. What are that? Let's quickly recapitulate. To blaspheme the devotees who dedicated their lives in propagating the holy names of the Lord all over the world. Second one, to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to independent names of Lord Vishnu. 3, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master, to consider him as an ordinary person. 4, to blaspheme the Vedic literatures and persons of the Vedic version. 5, to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. 6, to give some mundane interpretation to the holy names of the Lord. 7, to commit sinful activities on the strength of chanting the holy names of the Lord. 8, to consider the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities offered in the Vedas as fruitful activities, karma kanda. 9, to instruct the faithless person with the glories of the holy name. 10, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and to maintain material attachments, even after understanding so many instructions on this subject matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting our holy names of the Lord. Every time, every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must carefully safeguard against all of these offenses in order to attain the desired success. What is the desired success? Krishna Prem. That's what we say, right? Every morning we say, what is the ultimate goal of life? Krishna Prem. So in this verse, Prabhupada is explaining in the purport and also in the translation, how do we attain this goal of Krishna Prema? Right? Rupa Goswami gives 64 Angas of Bhakti by which we can attain this process of, attain the goal of Krishna Prema. What is the sadhya? Dashamola we finished, right? What are these 10 things ultimately lead us to Krishna Prema, right? And these are covered in actually Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojana. What is the Sambandha? First step is faith in the scriptures, which tells us who we are, who is the Supreme Lord, and what is our relationship. Right? Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattaha sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante ma buddhava samanvitaha. When you understand that I am the part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, I engage in the service of the Lord. Then that is Abhideya. When I engage in the process of devotional service, that is called Abhideya. And then what happens? Prayojana. What is the Prayojana? Krishna Prema. Right? And the Acharyas also explain how sadhana and sadhya. Right? What is the sadhana? Our chanting of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is the sadhana. And what is the sadhya? Chanting of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is also the sadhya. Why? Because we're able to remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead only by the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Right? Rupa Goswami has told 64 Angas of Bhakti by which we can attain Krishna Prema. Right? Those 64, then he told there are 5 important Angas. If we simply do these 5 things, we will attain Krishna Prema. What are the 5 things? Sadhu Sangana Makirtana Bhagavata Shravana Mathura Vasa Shri Murtiya Shraddhaya Sevana. What are the 5 Angas? Sadhu Sangha. That's what we are doing now. In the association of devotees, we are we are glorifying the Lord. We are hearing from the scriptures of the Lord, right, which are given by the Lord. That is sadhu sangha. And then nama kirtana. That's what we do every day morning during Brahma Samhita time, right? Nama kirtana. And then Bhagavata Shravana. That also we do. We do in the morning every day. Prabhupada has instituted a system where 8 to 9 is Bhagavatam class, right? Where we do Bhagavata Shravana. Mathura Vasa. Mathura Vasa means living in a holy dham, right? We can make our own home a holy dham when we keep Krishna, when we keep Radha and Krishna, Gauranitai, Balagopal as the center of our home, then our home becomes Mathura Vas. And Shri Murteya Shraddhaya Sevana. When we serve the deities by offering boga, by singing for the Lord, by doing abhishek for the Lord, when we're doing all this, then we're doing Shri Murtira Shraddhaya Sevana, right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself has given this as an instruction to Sanatana Goswami, right? In Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, this verse comes where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is personally instructing Sanatana Goswami. Only 10 days, right? He spoke to Sanatana Goswami about this process of devotional service. And then finally, in this age of Kali, what is most important, even out of these 5, what is most important is Nama Kirtana. Hare Nama, Hare Nama Iva Kevalam, Kalo Nastyeva Gatiranyatha. Right? Except for the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, there is no other way. There is no other way. There is no other way in this age of Kali. Why? Kaler doshe nide rajan astihi ekon mahan gunaha kirtanadeva krishnasya mukta sangha param prajet. In Kali Yuga, we all have manda sumanda matayo manda bhagya. We are all unfortunate. Our senses are driving us mad, right? And we have low ayu, prayan alpa yusha sabya, kalavasmin yugejana, manda sumanda. We are foolish, we are misguided, we are always quarrelsome. But what is that one thing? Kirtanadeva Krishnasya mukta sangha param prajet. We can attain liberation, we can attain Krishna prema, right? We can attain our constitutional position. Mukti hitvanyata rupam swarupena vyavastitihi, by simply chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So in this way, we can attain Krishna prema, right? So these are the, generally, for very intelligent people, they say you should study all the Shastras. But in Kali Yuga, we are Manda Sumanda Matayo. That's why very simple process is given to us. Nama Kirtana. Simply by performing Nama Sankirtana, we will be able to attain the same benefit that what was attained by Satya Yuga Vasis and by performing meditation, by the Treta Yuga Vasis by performing yajnas, by the Dwapara Yuga Vasis by performing deity worship. The same benefit we will get in Kali Yuga simply by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So what should we do? Tasmadekena manasa Bhagavan Satvatam Patihi Shrotavya Kirtitavyascha Dhyeya Pujyascha Nityada. So what do we have to do? We have to glorify, remember the Lord, chant Hare Krishna, and hear with our ears. It is said that the ear is the first organ that develops in a child, and the ear is the last organ that remains active even at the time of death. Right? That is why we want to chant Hare Krishna all the time and we want to hear the chanting of the Hare Krishna. That is why when somebody is leaving the body, they don't ask that person to chant Hare Krishna. They don't ask that person, oh, you see this, or you chant. What do? The devotees surround that person and chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In this way, when somebody is hearing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra at the time of death, then what happens? One is able to come back to Godhead. One is able to attain Krishna prema, right? And this is not like externally somebody is thrusting something upon us. No. Nitya Siddha Krishna prema sadhya kabhunaya Shravana adi shuddha chitta karaya udaya. Right? It is not that we want to get something from external. No. Shravana adi shuddha chitta, what happens? Karaya udaya. Right? Why? Nitya Siddha Krishna prema sadhya kabhunaya. The pure love of Krishna is already there in our hearts. But what have we done? On top of that, we've added Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. Because of that, our Krishna prema has become dormant. Our love for Krishna has become dormant. So we don't have to gain anything from anybody else. What do we have to do? When our heart is purified by hearing and chanting, Shravanadi Shuddha Chitta, when our heart is purified by hearing and chanting, what happens? Karaya Udaya. This love for Krishna, which is dormant in our heart, will automatically awaken. This is the process of attaining pure devotional service. Anyabhilashita shunyam, jnana karmadya navritam, anukulyena Krishnanushilanam, bhaktiruttama. Hare Krishna. So thank you all for your patient hearing. We've ended on time, 12:30 exactly Indian Standard Time. So if anyone has any queries or doubts, we can quickly take them. Everyone can unmute themselves now. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyo cha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. I thank you all for your patient hearing. Granth Raj Srimad Brahma Samhita ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. So if anyone has any queries or wants to share any realizations, you may do so. Hare Krishna. Dhanavad Pranams. Okay. So Chitra Mataji was for raising your hand for reading. Okay, Shobha Mataji, anything you want to share or ask?
Mataji, Dhanavad
Yes.
Pranam. Mataji, Dasha Mula, where to find Mataji?
I'll post it in the group, Mataji.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Then, okay, so thank you very much for your kind attention and hearing. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari. Thank you. We'll end the session here. Bhuvana Mataji, you can end the session.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Dhanavad Pranam.